Africa, 4.7 million years ago. A world untouched, untamed, a world of life and death where survival is a constant struggle. This is the story of our earliest ancestors, the first to walk upright upon the earth. For these early hominins, community is everything. They rely on each other for protection, for sustenance, and for the raising of their young. Every day brings new challenges, but together they find the strength to face them. The hunt is a dangerous affair, but it is essential for survival. Meat provides vital proteins and fats, fueling their growing bodies and brains. While the men hunt, the women gather plants, nuts, and berries. They possess an intimate knowledge of the land, knowing which plants nourish and which ones poison. Every track tells a story. The skilled hunter can read the signs, discerning where their prey has gone, how fast it was moving, and even if it is injured. But not all creatures of the savanna are prey. The elephant is a gentle giant, but it can be dangerous if provoked. Our ancestors learned to coexist with these magnificent beasts, sharing the landscape and respecting their power. The woolly mammoth, a relic of the Ice Age. To bring down such an animal would be a monumental feat, one that could feed the tribe for weeks. But it is also a task fraught with peril. In a world ruled by giants, man was not the apex predator. He was the underdog. To survive, he had to become audacious, intelligent, and relentless. Hunting these megafauna wasn't a choice. It was the very currency of existence. The land teemed with life, but it was also fraught with danger. Every creature fought for its place in the food chain. Raw power, like that of the mammoth, dominated the landscape, forcing our ancestors to rely on their one true weapon, their minds. Cooperation was key. A lone hunter stood no chance, but together they were a formidable force. The use of tools, from sharpened rocks to honed spears, marked a turning point in human history. It was the great equalizer, allowing them to challenge creatures many times their size and strength. But this was not a panicked retreat. This was a strategy. Our ancestors developed one of the most effective hunting techniques, persistence hunting. They could not win a sprint, but they could outlast their prey, exhausting it over miles of grueling terrain. Endurance and coordination were not enough. An intimate knowledge of the land was essential. They used the terrain itself as a weapon, guiding their exhausted quarry to a place where its size and power became a disadvantage. In this brutal dance of survival, intelligence would triumph over might. In the dawn of humanity, the world was a canvas of epic proportions, painted with creatures of immense scale and power. But for our ancestors, this was not a spectacle. It was a battlefield. Survival was a war waged daily, and the enemy was gigantic. Lacking the brute force of the mammoth or the fangs of the saber-tooth, early man's greatest weapon was not in his muscle, but in his mind. Ingenuity became their claw. They learned to harness the world around them, turning stone into blades and tree sap into deadly adhesives or poisons. Every hunt began not with a charge, but with a plan. giant has fallen. Exhausted but triumphant, the hunters claim their prize. This single kill is more than a meal. It is warmth from its hide, tools from its bones, and life for the entire tribe for weeks to come. In the silence of the aftermath, a new order is asserted. Not by might, but by persistence and intellect, humanity had earned its right to survive. Nothing was wasted. Every part of the animal served a purpose. The meat for sustenance, the hide for shelter and clothing, the bones for tools and weapons. It was an economy of necessity where waste was an alien concept. The hunt may be over, but the work is not. The kill must be transported, processed, and shared. It is a communal effort, reinforcing the social bonds that were the bedrock of their survival. The campfire offers more than warmth. It is the heart of the community, a place for sharing food, stories, and the safety of the collective. The mastery of fire was a quantum leap for humanity. It provided warmth, light, and protection from predators. Most importantly, it allowed them to cook their food, unlocking more nutrients and killing harmful parasites. This simple innovation fundamentally changed the human diet and fueled the evolution of the brain. And so, after a day of struggle, a moment of peace. The fire brings comfort, the food brings strength, and the community brings meaning. This was the rhythm of life 4.7 million years ago, a constant dance between peril and opportunity, between the fight to endure and the simple joy of being alive.